Hello, my name is Keith Haswell. I'm a professional astrologer with 40 years experience in the business, over 30,000 clients worldwide, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this video on letting go of the past. Now, I always introduce myself that way just in case this is your first video, to let you know where I'm coming from. And when in being a professional astrologer, I'm dealing with people on a very intimate basis with their problems in life and difficulties in life. And one of the big problems that all of us face as human beings on the path of growth is to let go of that past that seems to be haunting us. We have all of these things that have happened in our past that we're ashamed of or that we're angry about. Events and conditions that have either happened to us, perpetrated by an abuser or somebody else, or something that we have done that we are not proud of and that we are full of shame and guilt about. And so we spend time thinking and reflecting upon these things that have happened in our past, and we can't seem to throw our mind to the future. We seem to be hooked on that past. We're regurgitating the past events that have happened to us and the past events that we have perpetrated against others that make us feel uncomfortable and guilty and full of shame and so forth. And we think, gee, if I could just go back there into the past and get my mummy to fix it who abandoned me, get my daddy to fix it who abused me, get that teacher who abused me to fix it. If I could just go back to that ex who cheated on me and abandoned me in that way, deceived me and let me down. If I could just go back to that ex-boss and get them to fix it, then I would be able to let go of that past. Or if I could go back to that person that I abused in some way through my cheating or my neglect or my anger or my fear or my anxiety or whatever it was that we did that we're not proud of. If I could just go back to them and get them to forgive me, then everything would be okay. So we're like some sort of a ghost that's roaming around in the past. The first thing that I want to say so that you understand the mechanics of how reality works is that the events of the past are not the important factor. The important factor are the emotions and the feelings and the attitudes and beliefs that came from those events. So they're the things that you've got to work on. Unless you start working on those attitudes and beliefs and those thoughts and feelings that sprung from those events, then you're not going to be able to let go of that past. It's not a matter of going back into the past and getting someone to forgive you, or going back into the past and saying that I forgive you and everything will be fine. So it's not a matter of making it right with the events of the past. The events of the past are not the important thing. It's the emotions and the feelings and the attitudes and the beliefs and the thoughts and the feelings that are sprung from those events that are important. Now, the first thing that comes to mind then is, why does my mind keep on going back to these events? Well, let's now do as I normally do in utilising the houses of the horoscope, because I'm an astrologer. Let's use the houses of the horoscope to reconstruct the mechanics of what has happened here in your life in the past. If it's to do with the first house, you've got self-initiated efforts that didn't work out the right way, and from that sprung the belief or the attitude or the feeling or the emotion that says that my personal interests just don't work out. I can't plan things properly. I'm a no good. I'll never get anywhere. And so you have all of these belief patterns there. If it's to do with finances, you might have made bad judgments or bad decisions with regard to investments, or not looked after your money the right way. Then you've got beliefs there in the subconscious mind that are haunting you, and beliefs that life is a financial struggle for me. If you have problems in communication, you've been angry and you've hurt somebody, or you've had anger expressed to you and it's been hurt, you have feelings of self-pity, feelings of anger, feelings of shame, attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings there that are the cause of all of these events and conditions in your life. If you're going to fix things in life, you've got to get to the causes of things. If it's to do with the home and the family and the domestic side of life, you were abused as a child, you never had a nurturing environment there from your parents separated and broke up, or you were abused in some way by one of your parents, then those are attitudes and beliefs that I'm not lovable, I'm not deserving of love, I'm never going to amount to anything, I can never create a secure environment there in the home. And so you have the belief there in the subconscious mind that the home environment is an unstable place and that I can never make it work out. If you have problems in the area of relationships, you have feelings and attitudes and beliefs that you're not lovable, that you can never be loved. The relationships don't work out well for me, that I'm uneasy in the social setting, I don't fit in with people, I'm not welcome, I'm not comfortable with people. If it's to do with the job, it can be something where you have problems with people that you work with. I have beliefs there that I don't get on well with people that I work with, that they're trying to victimise me, they're trying to dominate me, they're trying to control me. These are all attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings. And you might have attitudes and beliefs there that I can't hold down a job. I never seem to be able to get on with the boss. All these are attitudes and beliefs. As far as health is concerned, and diet and exercise, you haven't looked after yourself, you're grossly overweight, or you've got problems with your health or whatever, I have beliefs in there in the subconscious mind that I'm an unhealthy person. And that's the sponsor of these actions. That's the sponsor and the cause of these problems with your health or these difficulties with your job. If it's to do with intimates and relationships and marriage and spouse and so forth, partners and so forth, then you might have been abused, you might have been neglected, you might have been deceived, you might have been abandoned, and you've got all of these negativities there. You might have been one who deceived. You might have got yourself involved in alternate relationships and subversive relationships. So you have the belief that you don't deserve to be loved, that you're unreliable in relationships, or that you're unlovable in relationships. Relationships never work out for me. Look, there's hundreds of different beliefs and attitudes and thoughts and feelings that are connected with all of these things that are happening in your life from the past. And they're the sponsor. So what I'm trying to say to you is that it's no good trying to go back into the past and fix it with that ex, or fix it with that ex-boss, or fix it with that parent who abused me or neglected me or abandoned me. It's no good going back into the past and asking for someone to forgive you for wrongs that you've done by them. It's no good going back into the past and seeking forgiveness, somebody else to give them forgiveness. That is not getting to the root cause of things. The root cause of all of these problems in the past are not the events, but the sponsoring attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings. It's easy to think that this event happened and therefore I have this belief, but that's not the way that it works out. We all have a history going back into past lives. We've all lived hundreds of lifetimes in the past, and we've all got these attitudes and beliefs and these thoughts and feelings that are there built up within our last lives. and we bring them back into us with us in this particular lifetime. So unless you can change those attitudes and beliefs and those thoughts and those feelings and the decisions and choices that are sponsored from those raw materials, then you're not going to be able to get rid of that past. Now this brings me to the second thing that I want to bring to your attention, and that is the power of the mind. The conscious mind is a director of energy. It's important to understand that. And it's important to understand that the subjective side of your life is where you are living. You are conscious in your emotions and your thoughts and your feelings and your attitudes and your beliefs and your decisions and your choices. So you are an emotional and a mental person. You're not a physical person. The physical body is not you. You are using your physical body, but your consciousness is the real you. And your consciousness comes from your soul. So what you have to do is you have to realize that I am a consciousness, I'm not a body. It's not as if the body is the house of the soul, it's the other way around. The body is created by the soul. The body lives within the aura of the soul. So that's where we have our consciousness. We have our consciousness in our emotions and our feelings and in our thoughts. Now it's important to understand the mechanics of what you're dealing with here as a human being. We are creating thought forms, and these thought forms are elemental lives that live within our aura. And if we are constantly repeating thoughts along a particular line of thinking, along a particular attitude or a particular belief, or particular thoughts or feelings, then that thought form becomes a strong and powerful thing that's living there in our aura. And it's continuing to attract the attention of our mind. They are not conscious things. They are little elemental lives, little tiny lives that are on the involutionary arc of energy down into matter. And they grow and reach and stretch and become more of who they are by becoming an event in your life. So naturally, every single one of these attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings that are thought forms there living in your aura, some of them very, very strong because they've been repeated hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times. We have 50,000 thoughts a day. That is absolutely staggering. And so we've got all of these energies of our mind are going towards these beliefs and attitudes that we have inside of ourselves of things never work out for me, I can't plan and construct things, life is a financial struggle for me, I'm an angry person, I can never get on with people, I'm full of shame and guilt and fear, I can never make the home environment a lovely, secure place for everybody. Because I'm unlovable, I can't hold a relationship down because I'm unlovable. Relationships never work out for me. I'm an unhealthy person and I can never hold down a good job. I can never be true in relationships. We have all of these attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings there inside of ourselves that are thought forms. Some of them very, very powerful and very, very strong. And they are anxious to express themselves as an event in time and space in your life. And so naturally they are all vying for the attention of your mind. Now look, in this day and age we can all appreciate the way that energies work. We've all seen how we can open the door of our car with a little remote control. As we're approaching the car, we press the button and a beam of energy that we can't see opens the door of the car for us, or opens the boot of the car for us. Or another remote opens the garage door for us. We know from experience that there's just bombs that are triggered off by mobile phones, and someone from the other side of the world can ring that number to trigger off that bomb that's there in that mosque or in that gathering place of people, and a terrorist attack blows up lots of people. So we can all understand how these unseen energies can trigger off things there in the physical world. Well, surely it's not too much of a stretch of the imagination to imagine that a massive planetary force that has got massive electronic energies all associated with it can't send a signal here to the thought forms that are there in your aura, and that it can't trigger off that particular thing to draw the attention of your mind and to manifest as a condition or event in your life. What I'm saying to you is that every single condition and event in your life is the result of a thought form. Nothing happens by chance. We live in a world of cause and effect. So there's nothing happens by random chance. There's nothing happens by accident. Every single event of your life happens according to law, according to the law of cause and effect. So we have these thought forms there inside of ourselves that are vying for expression as an event and condition in our life. And when the planets move through the houses of our horoscope, they activate these things, like the remote control activates the boot, or the remote control opens the door, or remote control opens the garage door, or the remote control triggers off that particular bomb with a mobile phone, or whatever. We can appreciate that in this day and age, that there's unseen energies that are working there behind the scenes that are making these things happen. Well, it's not too much of a stretch of the imagination to imagine that as the planets move through the houses of your horoscope, they are setting up a vibrational frequency that is triggering off these thought forms, and they draw the attention of your mind. And this is why you are dwelling in the past. You are dwelling in the past because you have massive thought forms there inside of your aura that are vying for the attention of your mind because they want to express themselves as an event or condition in your life. And your mind is a director of energy. And so as you think about this thought form, as you think about this event of the past, as you think about this habit pattern, this addictive pattern of behavior that you become enamored with, this is where the energies of the mind are driving that thought form into expression. And the timing of that happens according to the movement of the planets through the houses of your horoscope. So this is the mechanics of how it all works and how it all functions. And when you start thinking along these lines, you realise that, hey, I can't do anything about the events of the past. I'm going to let them go. What I can do and what I have the power to do is I have the power to change the attitudes and the beliefs and the thoughts and the feelings that are the sponsoring energies of those events and conditions of the past. And they are things that are creating those events in your life now. So you might say to me, well, okay, Keith, I can accept this, that I've got all these energies and forces there living in my aura, and that they are the sponsoring energies that are bringing about these conditions and events and repetition of things that have happened in the past, that I don't have to go back into the past and I don't have to hang on to the past, that I can change these attitudes and beliefs inside of myself. How do I go about changing them? Well, the way you go about changing them is something that's very, very difficult, because you've set up a habit pattern there of the way that your mind works. And these thought forms are very powerful. They're not about to say, okay, well, I'll just sit on the sidelines and I'll just let myself die of attrition. They're going to be vying for the attention of your mind, the energy of your mind. They are dying to express themselves as events and conditions in your life. And the way that they can do that is by attracting the attention of your mind. So they vibrate and they attract the attention of your mind. And the beam of energy comes from your mind to that thought form, form, and before long it's there, ready to express itself as an event and condition. The planet comes through the houses of your horoscope, hits the right vibrational frequency there, the right location in the house of the horoscope to trigger that off through an aspect of the planet or whatever, and that, boom, becomes an event or a condition in your life. So the only way that you can change the past, the only way that you can change the events and conditions in your life is to change the attitudes and the beliefs, the thoughts and the feelings, and the decisions and choices that those attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings sponsor. Otherwise you will keep on repeating the past, you will be repeating the events and conditions of your past, and that's what clinging to the past is not hanging on to events of the past, but hanging on to habit patterns of behaviour and attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings that sponsored those events of the past. So how do you go about stopping the way that your mind works, to change the direction of the energies of your mind so that they're not going to these thought forms? These thought forms are just so powerful. Addictive patterns of behaviour are so powerful. It's hard to let go of your self-pity. It's hard to let go of your shame. It's hard to let go of your anger about those events. It's hard to let go of your fear. It's hard to let go of your beliefs that you don't deserve and that you're unlovable. It's hard to let go of that shame. It's hard to let go of that anxiety and that doubt and that insecurity that you have, and that belief that financial matters don't work out for you and life is a financial struggle for you. It's hard to let go of these patterns of thinking that have been ingrained there in the brain there by you for dozens and dozens of decades, going back into past lives as well. So what you have to do is you have to start on a project of meditation. Meditation is your saviour. Of course, the only way that you can change the direction of the energies of your mind is by getting control of your mind. The way that you do this is you start to meditate on a daily basis, even if it's only for 3 minutes every day. You set up a habit pattern or a behaviour pattern that is daily, ritual, regular routine. That's what the New Age is all about. The New Age is all about the seventh ray, ceremonial law, order, ritual. It's all tied in with meditation. Now, once you get yourself into a regular ritual and a routine of daily meditation, then the next step is to start working on an intake of knowledge, because knowledge helps you to understand that you are not a bad person, that you are not an unlovable person, that you are a beautiful person. You are going to free yourself from all of these negativities and patterns of behaviour that you've become enamoured with. You have the power of God and Goddess there inside of yourself. You can change the habit patterns of thinking and the habit patterns of feeling. You can change the way that your mind works over a period of time through an intake of knowledge. Knowledge will set you free. Look, you've had so much experience in life. Now it's time to take in knowledge, and through a combination of experience and knowledge comes wisdom. Through that wisdom you develop courage. Courage is the willingness to act. It's not the ability to act. Everyone has the ability to act, but it's the willingness to act. Even though you don't have all the answers, and even though some of the answers that you do have are wrong. Courage is the willingness to be wrong in the pursuit of what's right. And what's right for you is to let go of that past by changing your patterns of thinking, to realise that you are not the thing that you think that you are. That they're only beliefs, they're only attitudes. The real truth about you is that you are a beautiful person. Look, we've all made mistakes. And it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be human. That is the natural thing to do, is to make mistakes. The idea, though, is to learn from those mistakes. What knowledge is going to do for you is it's going to help you to understand how reality works, and to understand the real you and to know what the real you is. That you are not this non-deserving person and this non-lovable person and this guilty person and this shameful person. That is not you. That is aspects of you that you have to now work towards outgrowing. It's time now to let the real you come to the fore. It's time now to realize that you have a piece of God and Goddess there inside of yourself. And that piece of God and Goddess gives you all of the properties, all of the qualities, and all of the powers of God and Goddess inside of yourself now. Your task is to recognize that fact and unfold those powers. And you do that through an intake of knowledge. You've had so much experience in life, and a lot of it is painful. You've become addicted to patterns of behavior and patterns of thinking and patterns of feeling and developed attitudes and beliefs that are not you. It's time now to realize that they're not you. They are the not you. They are the not self. It's time now to realize the real self is there inside of yourself waiting to get out. And the way to do that is through the science of meditation and becoming into a regular ritual and a routine of daily meditation over a long period of time, and the redirection of the mind through knowledge and understanding. Knowledge leads to understanding, to have the courage. Courage is the refusal to live a life that does not reflect your truth. You have a lot of goodness, truth and beauty there inside of yourself that's waiting to get out. It's only because you've become enamored with these negative parts of yourself that are the not self that you believe that you don't deserve and that you're not lovable and that you'll never amount to anything. Well, it's time to let go of that and to realize that that is the not you, and to change those habit patterns of thinking from those negative attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings, and to change the patterns of thinking through an intake of knowledge that will give you the courage to rise above these challenges that you're facing in life. To realize that you've made mistakes, yes, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not be perfect. We've all made mistakes. It's okay to be human. So get stuck into My Intensives. My Intensives, 12 CDs out of my first book, What Really Matters, a book on astrology, meditation and reincarnation that will be that intake of knowledge that you need to give you the motivation to change, to give you the understanding of the fact that you are a beautiful person, that you have a lot of goodness, truth and beauty there inside of yourself. You have a lot of power, strength and talent there inside of yourself that's waiting to get out. It's time to let go of the past. It's time to stop clinging to the past. It's time to free yourself from those habit patterns of behaviour that you've become enamored with, and those attitudes and the beliefs that are not in your own best interests. So get stuck into meditation, get stuck into My Intensives. That will give you the motivation through that intake of knowledge to draw upon that inner strength, that inner power, that inner talent, that inner courage to become more of the giant that you truly are. So I thank you for your attentiveness here. I'm happy to do your horoscope for you free of charge if you haven't had it done already. So subscribe to my videos because I'm pumping out videos all the time. Submit your birth details through the Your Horoscope page of my website, www.mysteryofsirius.com. And then you can download the 12 CDs free of charge out of my book, What Really Matters. There will be that intake of knowledge that's vital there for you to give you the motivation to be able to get stuck into a daily meditation ritual and a daily routine. That intake of knowledge that helps you to understand the truer you, the real you, the beautiful you, the powerful you. So I thank you for your attentiveness here, and I look forward to working further with you should you decide to go further. Thank you.